Good evening. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. Man, it's another day. What can I say? A lot of movement again today. I've seen in different areas of SHTF, if you will. Nothing super drastic, really, in any particular area, but there is definitely still movement going on. So, as usual, just be keeping a close eye on things. Nobody knows when we are going to have the next big event, whatever that may look like. Next big event could be something like 9/11, or it could be something like COVID. We just don't know. But I don't think it's going to be far off. Again, I don't want to come off as one of those channels that is trying to get people to live in fear or anything like that. In fact, just the opposite. I don't want you to live in fear at all. I want you to be informed. I want you to be knowledgeable. I don't want there to be a need for fear, because I want you to be on top of it mentally and spiritually. So, again, nothing really super drastic. The topic tonight, not going to spend a lot of time on it. Don't got a lot of stuff to say, really. But I've got 6 tabs open. Just the general stuff. But I ran across the topic for the show, or the title anyway. And I just happened to be scrolling through Facebook, and somebody else that lives in town here had shared out a news article. I had heard nothing about it before. This is the first I had heard about it, which is kind of, crazy. But apparently, we are about to get one hell of a good-sized solar farm right here in Highland. Well, not in town, but, right, not far from town. And that's, to me, incredible. That's going to be awesome. Again, I don't know really how to feel at the same time when I say that, and the reason why, because everywhere has corruption at this point, including here. And I don't know if this is actually trying to do good, or if this is just people lining other people's pockets. I really honestly don't know which one it is. And that's a shame. That's a shame. My hope is that this is going to be as advertised, and it is what it is. I don't know. My comments on my newest video disabled. Shouldn't be. I can check into that, though. I will be more than happy to check into that. Seems to be quite the popular video. Let me take a peek real quick. They shouldn't be disabled, and if they are, I will try to deal with that. Hang on, because I have to open it up in a window just to... No, I don't show. I show no comments. Okay, I see what you're saying. YouTube censoring. I got rid of, and I'm going to be honest, I got rid of one comment. I deleted a comment that there was. It says 16 comments. There was somebody that left a crypto comment. And I guess it was a bot, because after they left the crypto comment, there were a ton of comments in support of that initial person that left the comment. So I'm pretty sure that was bots. And now I got rid of that. I got rid of that entire, comment and then all the replies. But that's it. I haven't seen anybody put anything over there since. But I'm looking at it right here. Here, let me get it in the right window. But, yeah, I got it up right here. And, yeah, I've got comments open. So, I don't know. Don't know. Like you say, though, it is probably something that YouTube is doing. And it would not surprise me in the very least that YouTube would be doing that. But yeah, I did delete a number of comments, and it was, like I say, it was one comment and a bunch of replies to the one comment about crypto. I think somebody was trying to scam or something. Anyway, let's talk about the situation going on here locally. I've got the article right here, and it says large solar farm under construction outside Highland. Here's what we know. And it says the large solar array under construction outside Highland is part of an ongoing push for solar in Illinois on private property. 4 years ago, at least 9 companies approached landowner William Drake about leasing property for a solar farm on his property. The interest stemmed from Future Energy Jobs Act of 2016 that created incentives for renewable energy providers to build solar farms throughout the state. Summit Ridge Energy won the bid to build on Drake's 145 acres in a 25-year lease, and now it is finally under construction. Summit Ridge Energy is a national company focused on developing solar energy for individual homes and businesses as well as community projects. City manager Chris Conrad confirmed the solar farm. Not a fan of his. I'll say that straight up. Not a fan of his. If there is corruption in this town, my opinion is he's probably a large part of it. But anyway, I digress. Confirmed the solar farm will sell its energy to Ameren, which owns the transmission line that runs along the south side of the railroad tracks in that area. Conrad said the energy benefit to Highland is collateral. While most of our power capacity comes from Prairie State, Ameren is the sole transmission company in downstate Illinois, so all power along their transmission lines gets used, whether from Prairie State or other traditional sources or from renewable energies, he said. And renewable sources. I can't read for some reason. So again, this is what they're saying. They're basically saying that this solar is basically going to feed into that transmission line. That, to me, why they're doing that, it makes sense to me. It really, truly does. It makes sense. It says here, currently the incentives for grid-scale solar projects are designed for investor-owned companies, Conrad said, with the intent the companies will install as much capacity as possible to earn government incentives while speeding up the transition to renewable energy. Because of the incentives, many of which are tax-based, it makes a lot more financial sense for the solar companies to partner with Ameren rather than a non-profit like the city, Conrad said. Eventually, Conrad believes municipal and co-op energy systems will be included in the incentives, but the reality is we are not enough of the market to make the kind of quick impact the policymakers are looking for, he said. However, Highland is situated along a stretch of transmission line which makes the fields in the region desirable for solar development without having to spend a great deal of money connecting to transmission lines, Conrad said. By working with these solar developers on their projects on the placement and zoning, right now this is the main way the city can show their support for grid-scale renewable energy projects, he said. So, the other part of this that I had considered when I saw this article hell with everything in the normal times. What about if something crazy happens, right? And we lose the grid? One of the things that I've often said I like about being here, especially in perilous times, if you will, is we even got a power plant in town. And I can't tell you what it's ran on now. I don't know if it's ran on diesel. I don't know if it's ran on natural gas. I have no idea what it's running on now. I do know that they redid the power plant, and that's why I don't know. I'm pretty sure it used to be diesel. Pardon me. But I know Ameren has a big gas substation or something back there, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. And that would be a great place for them just to be able to tap right into if they had natural gas generators now. I don't know if they've got natural gas or if they've got diesel generators. But nonetheless, that's one of the positives that I've seen for this town, because, hey, we're just, 10,000 people or so, It's not real big. It's great to have that capability. Well, now we can add to that because not far from town will be a large field of solar panels. Again, every little bitty thing that gives you an edge counts. And I see this as nothing but plus, plus, plus. Yeah, I am sure that there's a fair amount of corruption involved in this. I am sure that a lot of this is people that know people that are, padding pockets for people. I get it. But it doesn't have to be all bad. At least maybe we ought to get something out of it, right? Look, we've got people in the government that go down to, different countries, Mexico, South America, whatever, they hookers and blow. It's all, party. Hey, at least we're seeing something from this. We don't see nothing from that. Don't see nothing from that except for the scandals later on. So anyway, I kind of thought that was cool, especially considering it's been a quite a bit of a topic as of late. Oh, man. Hang on here. I definitely wanted to bring that up when I saw that. And like I said, I didn't know nothing about it until today. I don't have my head up the town's butt or anything like that. I'd rather do more exciting things like clean under my fingernails or something. I don't know. Okay, I got a few here to deal with what's going on with fuel and economy, all that stuff. U.S. to see winter spike in natural gas prices. I'm sure this is no surprise to you. Something we've been talking about. They are just confirming it. Natural gas bills are set to increase in all regions of the U.S. this winter, with surging demand and colder temperatures potentially forcing Americans to pay nearly 30% more over the previous year, according to projections by the U.S. Department of Energy. A forecast published by the department's Energy Information Agency on Monday predicted a significant price hike over the winter months, suggesting some households will pay an average of $931 for heating during the cold season. A 28% increase over 2021, nearly half of all American homes are heated with natural gas. The agency went on to note that the Midwest will see the greatest increase in retail gas prices compared to other regions, though the Southwest and Northeast will also experience climbing costs. Well, that's great news for our area. We don't have natural gas, but you know what? We ain't the only people here, and I'm not an opportunist, you know what I mean? I'm not that person sitting there laughing and being giddy because I'm not somebody that, is going to be caught up by the expensive gas prices. But some people are like that. Some people are absolutely like that. Not I. Man, if my neighbors are hurting, that means I'm probably hurting, right? I expect to be hurting, to be honest. I don't want to see my neighbors hurting, I honestly don't know much of a different life. So it is what it is. I don't really care. It's life. It's normal to me. But I don't want to see my neighbors hurting, and I mean that, you know. Um, and I'm saying that not just figuratively, but I mean literally. I don't want to see my neighbors hurting, you know. The neighbors that also are on the same plot of land here, they're moving out, so we're going to be getting new neighbors soon. But the other neighbors we have, look like they're decent people. I mean, they drive decent vehicles and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't want to see them hurting, right? Because I start seeing them hurting, that means something. It just frustrates me when there's a lot of opportunism out there. While comparatively colder temperatures are expected to contribute to the rising prices, the EIA previously said growing constraints on liquefied natural gas exports to Europe from Russia were creating strong international demand for American gas. The resulting boost in U.S. exports have used almost all of the country's available gas capacity and driven prices upward, with the U.S. reporting its lowest natural gas storage levels in 3 years last April. Efforts by some European states to curtail Russian energy imports in retaliation for the conflict in Ukraine have also prompted fears that residents will be unable to heat their homes come winter. So, and then it goes into what I was reporting on yesterday. So, again, it's crazy because I feel like I'm constantly, talking anymore about war or the economy. It wasn't that long ago that I was saying, man, I'd do anything not to be talking about COVID. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Let's see. Oh, I agree. We are pretty much falling right in line with what happened with Venezuela. It is messed up. It is absolutely messed up what's happening in this country. Another popular term I hear for what's happening in this country is a banana republic, Let's see. Brits to prepare for blackouts on really cold evenings. And again, this is just a continuation of stuff that we've already been talking about for some time now. But this is the bothersome part for me, okay, right? Because here's the thing. Let's go back to the days where we were talking about COVID every day. They were sitting there and they were just driving that COVID thing into the ground, and they had an agenda. And they were, at least on some level, going to do whatever it took to make you comply with their agenda. Now, you may have refused to put masks on, or you may have, not gotten a jab. You may have not participated in any part of it. That's one thing. But there are some ways where you didn't have a choice, right? The companies that were shut down, right? The different rules that went on in hospitals and nursing homes with visitors and stuff like that. How about funerals, right? Nobody could even go to the funerals of their loved ones. That's crazy. So whether or not you resisted putting on a mask, whether or not you gave in to getting a jab, it still affected you deeply. And that's this that I'm seeing now from the media, is they're doing the same thing when it comes to the economy and energy. They're just running them every single day. It's just continuing to say, and a lot of it's the same things over and over and over. So I would say it's probably safe to bet there's going to be issues with the economy and energy. And I would say it's safe to bet that no matter how much you try to remove yourself from being affected by those things, you're still going to be affected one way or another. That's why you be prepared, you get prepared. It's still going to affect you, right? Even if you're prepared to deal with it and you won't do without, you're still going to be using up your supplies to get through that patch. And that's an effect. This goes on to say the deepest, darkest evenings in January and February could be marked by 3-hour blackouts. The head of Britain's National Grid ESO, John Pettigrew, said on Monday, emphasizing that he was talking about a worst-case scenario linked to the energy crisis in continental Europe. Let's see. Lost my spot, sorry. Speaking at the Financial Times Energy Transition Summit, he explained that if the weather turns extremely cold and if gas supplies to feed power stations are insufficient, the company will have to switch off gas and electricity in parts of the country. It will be happening probably between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. in the evenings on those weekdays. And and when it's really, really cold in January and February, Pettigrew said. He explained that in the context of terrible things that are going on in Ukraine, the company needs to assess the potential risks. Normally, during the coldest months and extreme weather events, the UK imports gas and electricity from continental Europe. However, this year, European countries are facing a severe energy crisis exacerbated by sanctions and a sharp decrease in Russian energy supplies. Pettigrew stressed that despite the risks involved, the National Grid's base case remains unchanged. It suggests that there would be enough gas and electricity for Britain this winter. According to the National Grid strategy, set to come into force on November 1st, in case there are no electricity imports from continental Europe, the company will deploy its mitigation strategies, including dispatching the retained coal units. In a more extreme scenario involving a hypothetical escalation of the energy crisis in Europe and a deficit in gas, as well as in electricity supplies, the National Grid admits that there might be interruptions to customers for periods. Overall, this is likely to be a challenging winter for energy supply throughout Europe, the company warned. Any plans for scheduled power cuts in the UK must be approved by the government and the monarch. Last week, the head of Russian energy giant Gazprom, Alexei Miller, said that Europe will survive this winter, but the winters of 2023 and 2024 would demonstrate that the energy crisis has not come for a short period of time and the causes of the energy crisis are systemic. President Vladimir Putin earlier likened the EU's attempts to cut itself off from the Russian fossil fuels to economic suicide. And yeah, to do it like that, absolutely. And that's why we can't just switch to renewable energies. This should be a lesson. It won't be, but it should be a lesson. At the same time, I say it should be a lesson to those wanting to go to renewables. This ought to be a lesson to the other team, too. Because if you can't see what these energy companies are willing to do just so they keep turning a profit, I don't know what to tell you. We're in a situation to where we do have the technology, it's just not available to us yet. That's the kicker. And it's frustrating, because we keep feeding these same individuals that are holding us back. We are feeding the very individuals that are holding us back, whether it be in corporations or whether it be in government. And it's so frustrating to watch happen. I agree, Hexafruce, on the grid tied solar. I agree. There really is no point. The only way there would be a point is if you could really overproduce and be able to have your own storage as well, so that you would never have to draw from that grid ever. Not necessarily that you would be feeding it 24/7, but you would be feeding it when the sun was out, and you would have your own battery storage, energy storage for your own home. Now, I could see doing that, but I would have to take care of my own home first, right? And then anything extra that I produce, yeah, fine, throw it out there. The thing that gets me with all this solar thing is you get, especially the red team, they want to talk about how they care so much about energy security and all of that. And they're full of it. Because you can't get any more energy secure than, I don't know, 60% of the people in town having solar panels on their roof, not only providing themselves electricity, but also feeding into a grid, right? If you had people doing that, and that became just a normal thing, you couldn't get a more secure energy grid. Because it would have so many points of generation, whether it be some type of a natural cause to cause an outage, whether it be whatever. You would have much smaller amounts of grid going down at a time, and you would just be that much more secure. But we can't get people, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's because we got this battle back and forth, right? It's got to be either this way or it's got to be this way. The right's got one way it's got to be, the left's got the other way it's got to be, and there is no talking about anything else other than those talking points. And that is why we can't get anywhere. But it is possible. Can we just jump right into a renewable system head first? No, because we don't have the storage capabilities. The technology's there, the knowledge is there, but the products aren't. They haven't been allowed to be produced and sold. So it doesn't matter what they know if we can't have it. And so that's where we're stuck. That's the big part of this whole renewable energy. And the whole part with all of it, including electric vehicles and everything, it comes down to that storage. And we're getting bent over, I'm telling you. We are royally getting bent over when it comes to that. They can literally use hemp to make hemp graphene batteries that will make our lithium technology look stupid. And guess what? It doesn't destroy the environment, not either in the making of the batteries or in the recycling of the batteries. Imagine that. But we can't have that technology. Why? Oh, well, because Big Oil bought the patent. Imagine that. But we'll keep shilling for Big Oil anyway. Yeah, we can't do it. Yeah, no, we can't do it. No, we can't do it. Because the people that are robbing us now are trying to stay in power. That's why we can't do it. It's not that we don't have the ability. Okay? We don't have the decency. We don't have the integrity. Not talking about you and I'm talking about, well, actually the human race, but, the ones in control of that. Oh, man. Well, that's just the thing. There's problems with most of it. There's going to be problems with solar. There's going to be problems with wind. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. Absolutely not even close. But I think that we could do a much better job if we tried. And we tried to put stuff in the different areas where it would make sense. It would be a good solar area, like places in California and stuff like that. Yeah. Other places where wind would be a good choice, absolutely wind. But there are so many methods that don't even get talked about. And again, it's because there is a particular group of people that are hell-bent on staying in power. I mentioned these tunnel things. I don't know what they're called. Power generation wind tunnel. I'd be shocked if I don't bring it up. Just by putting that in. Yeah, here it is. Right here. Right there. Yeah, that was hard. That was hard. What do we got? A hooker? Oh, we got a hooker. I got him. I got him. Bye, hooker. Alright, Alright, this is what I've been going on about, right? I mean, it works. It works. It just works. And it doesn't stop working. It doesn't stop working depending on the wind. It doesn't stop working depending on the sun. It doesn't stop working. It just works. How come we don't have them? The damnedest thing. It's insane. It really is insane. Germany facing retail collapse, who knows, says Der Spiegel. Germany's retail industry is in jeopardy amid rising energy costs and a sharp decline in consumption, Der Spiegel reported on Monday, citing the German Retail Federation, HDE. According to the organization's forecast, the first place the risk of bankruptcy are smaller stores in city centers. Retail turnover in Germany started to decrease in August, according to Federal Statistical Office. Sales in real terms fell by 1.3% compared to July and by 4.3% versus August of 2021. Food sales were down 1.7% from July and 3.1% year-on-year, reaching their lowest level since 2017. Textiles and shoes, household appliances, and construction supplies were other segments seeing a decline in sales. An HDE spokesman said that the financial assistance promised by the German government to ease energy price spikes should be used to support retail stores. Folks, we've got to stop the bailouts. The bailouts has to stop. It's insane. It's just, yeah, they got to do something, yes. But the bailouts have got to stop. Especially by individuals that are doing very shady things in the first place to get that money. I just don't get it. I don't get why we bailed out the banks with the student loan debt. Because, again, I'll say it a million times, student debt forgiveness is nothing more than a banker bailout. Plain and simple. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have tried helping the students. Not saying that. I'm also not saying that we should have gave the banks a damn dime. Because I question a lot of that lending that went on. Why aren't these lenders being investigated and charged for... You cannot tell me that all of what they did was on the up and up. And then, and instead of trying to actually address the true problem with it all, no, they just pay them off, and the taxpayer's the one that gets the bill. It's crazy. Well, what's even crazier is we got all that kind of nonsense going on in the United States of America. We don't have people raising hell. There is protest going on around the globe right now with everything going on. Except here. It always gets me. Did the fluoride do that damn good of a job? I'm kind of serious with that question. Did the fluoride do that good of a job? Because it makes no sense to me. No sense to me. How you could have 350 or whatever million people in a nation. It's crazy. However, this comes from France. Police violently crack down on cost of living protesters. Cost of living protesters. Massive protest against the high cost of living met with a heavily armed police crackdown in Paris on Tuesday. Tens of thousands of striking union members and their supporters filled the city streets to denounce President Emmanuel Macron's economic policies and demand better wages in the face of massive inflation. A video posted to social media shows a crowd of heavily armed riot police charging a cluster of demonstrators sheltering behind a makeshift barricade. While the protesters scatter almost immediately, the cops carry off a few of them, while protesters toss projectiles at them. Another clip shows the police whacking demonstrators with their batons and drenching them in pepper spray, while others trade blows with protesters. Protests against Macron's government and its policies have been ongoing since last month, when employees at Total Energies and Esso ExxonMobil demanded a salary bump of over 10% to compensate for high inflation. The resulting strike took a third of France's gas stations out of service, causing long lines to fill up at the remaining locations. Tuesday's demonstrations included an official action by the General Confederation of Labor, with transit workers as well as auto plant and power plant workers taking to the streets alongside the refinery and gas station workers and their supporters. With inflation at 6%, the cost of food and other necessities has become a heavy burden for the average worker. Energy costs have soared due to sanctions on Russian gas. Oh. Again, it's crazy. And there were protests, France, Germany, Brussels, all over. There were protests all over. Except here. I mean, we got people that protest, but not important stuff. You know, stuff that affects all of us, not just a real tiny subset that wants special privileges for something or another. We always got that kind of protesting going on. And this is the last tab I have open. Just kind of whipping through this stuff. I'm tired. I am tired. I know you guys hear me say that a lot anymore, but here's what it is. Just like I say, beat. U.S. ally expresses desire to join Brics. I did do a little flying today. I was going to show you guys that picture. I like this picture. There you go. That was, over the Philippines. Hang on, I gotta sneeze. Alright. Fun times. Out of here, hooker. Anyway, that was earlier over the Philippines. Mach 2. That was fun. There's some pretty nasty weather over in that vicinity, so me and Charles were over there trying to smash her planes into the runway. Let's see. Saudi Arabia wants to join the Brics alliance, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has stated, signaling a dramatic potential expansion of the bloc amid growing tensions with the U.S. over the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Ramaphosa told reporters of Riyadh's Brics inquiry as he wrapped his two-day state visit I'm making stuff up to the Desert Kingdom on Sunday. The trip included meetings with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and other Saudi leaders. The Crown Prince did express Saudi Arabia's desire to be part of BRICS and said they're not the only country, Ramaphosa said. The group, which is named for member states Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is scheduled to meet next year in Johannesburg for its annual summit. Expansion prospects will likely be on the agenda as the bloc is expected to consider adding such nations as Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, and Algeria. Let's see. The BRICS nations are going to be meeting in a summit next year under the chairship of South Africa, and the matter is going to be under consideration, Ramaphosa said. And already a number of countries or nations have been making approaches to the other member countries, and we've given them the same answer. To say it'll be discussed by the BRICS partners themselves, 5 of them, and thereafter a decision will be made. The Saudi-South Africa talks came amid a row between Riyadh and Washington over OPEC's decision to cut production quotas by 2 million barrels a day. U.S. President Joe Biden last week threatened Saudi Arabia with unspecified consequences and accused the longtime ally of siding with Russia in the Ukraine crisis. U.S. lawmakers have called for cutting off cooperation with Saudi Arabia, such as halting arms sales or withdrawing military support. Look, that is never going to happen. So that will only happen when we wind up in combat against them. And I think that's got to be a reality too. But, look, there's too many backroom deals with Saudi Arabia for the U.S. to do jack. Oh, fun times. Anyway. Have me a few vapes here real quick. Not a big hurry or nothing, but, bet is calling my name. How lame is it to be, like, laying in bed by 10 o'clock? I mean, when I say laying, I mean, like, ready to go to bed. Now, mind you, I toss and turn for about 3 or 4 hours every night, so I might be in bed before 10, but I usually don't get to sleep before about 1, 12:30, 1. It's about the average time I actually fall asleep. Sucks, but it is what it is. Oh, I changed e-cig flavor today. I know you guys you were waiting to know that. Thought it was, I thought Evil's apple juice was up. But it wasn't. I was mistaken. It was pink starburst. So, either way was a win. One moment. All right. And I got to get out beta testing. Didn't do it today. Probably not tomorrow because it's still going to be cold, but then it's going to warm up. So it's going to be heavy on beta testing after tomorrow. So, and then hopefully we've got an update coming soon, and hopefully I'll see mucho improvemento. All right. And no, I don't know Spanish, but anybody that does know Spanish already knew that. Let's see. EU say, because I'm making it up. I'm pretty sure that wasn't correct. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with the beta testing. Yep. Um, haven't been able to do anything because it's just, I'm not going to go out there and freeze my butt off. Not going to happen. So, it's like 40 degrees today, and it ain't going to happen. So, tomorrow it's going to be kind of cool, but after that it's going to get up, 70s. So, I'm good in the 70s, but I ain't doing the 40s. All right. I think I read that. Yep. All right. EU sanctions Iran's morality police, which I thought I already read that headline to you like yesterday or the day before. Pakistan seeks Russian LNG, says official. Over a dozen deaths confirmed after warplane crash. Let's see. Booking.com faces antitrust probe. Truss refuses to resign. Blinken explains goal of U.S. dominance. Pretty much, don't you just have to say that the U.S. wants dominance? That pretty much is the goal. Anyway, European gas prices dropped to the lowest since June. UK wants China to stop hiring its ex-military pilots, says media. Wow. Blinken makes claim about Beijing's Taiwan invasion plans. Pentagon details air defense deliveries to Ukraine. U.S. warned of winter blackout. Oh, I did do that article. Global nuclear watchdog chief wants to meet Putin again. And that was one of them, I think, I read. EU can't agree on gas price cap, says Bloomberg. Zelensky reveals damage to Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Ukrainian official slams Bayraktar, something like that, drones in prank call. I can't pronounce those things. I can't pronounce English. The hell? You start putting 7 consonants together and I'm done. Soaring inflation puts France on national strike. U.S. should not listen to Kiev, former ambassador at Moscow says. U.S. oil giant leaves Russia empty-handed. Biden slammed for another baffling gas price comment. Details of Nord Stream probe shared by media. Russia finds Twitch for fake news. Zelensky to publish book of his most powerful war speeches. I mean, the dude's like doing photo shoots. Apparently he's writing a book, right? This is like a TV show war. I'm surprised they don't actually have it in episodes. It's crazy. Moscow comments on alleged military use of Iranian drones. EU country brands Russia a terrorist regime. let's see. Russian oil exports surge ahead of EU embargo, says Bloomberg. Ukrainians warned of tough times ahead. EU nation's largest hotel to close due to energy crisis. UK's secret plan for Falklands war revealed. Tories want Boris Johnson back, says a poll. Indonesia to demolish site of mass stampede tragedy. A top German diplomat issues ultimatum on Ukrainian territories. Kiev mulls severing ties with Iran. EU rolls out energy crisis plan. Tehran breaching nuclear deal with drone supplies to Russia, says the U.S. Ukrainian war crimes report presented to the UN. Turkey test fires secretly built ballistic missiles, says Bloomberg. Almost half of young Americans use marijuana. And it was a reefer madness type of article. Hyper-realistic Jesus put on display. Police, I covered that one. Russian general in charge of Ukraine operations speaks out. First images of Nord Stream damage revealed. German cyber czar fired over alleged Russian ties, says the media. Russia-India arms venture sets export goal. Israel won't arm Ukraine, says Justice Minister. Kherson region will relocate civilians to safety, says Governor. U.S. media accuses Russia of election interference once again. Retired U.S. generals worked for Saudis, says Washington Post. That's not surprising. No point in maintaining same diplomatic presence in West, says Russia. And Italy's ex-PM exchanges sweet letters with Putin, audio clip reveals. And that is it. All of the headlines. Crazy. Like I say, just, keep it up. As far as getting prepared, keep at it. Don't slow down. Don't stop. Keep getting ready. Because I do think that when things do stop, it's going to be a major stop. And I think it's going to be for a length of time. I don't think it's going to just be something we can easily overcome. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here. I got to get trash out yet. And God willing, we will see you all tomorrow evening. So, I appreciate everybody coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.